Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage NFID President-elect, Dr. Patrick Joseph.
Wow, that was great. I'm going to go off script a little bit here just for a moment. Earlier this evening, the medical director of the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases, Dr. Susan Ream, introduced Len Novick. And Len has been a wonderful force in the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases, and as he said, for 18 previous years has walked up here and told the same bad joke about the Oscar goes to. And the important thing, and so many of you know Len, but what you may not know is that Len has decided to step aside as the executive director for National Foundation for Infectious Diseases this summer. And Len said when he was up here, you really don't know where you're going until you can examine where you've been. Well, Len, I don't know where you're going, but I know where you've been, and you have brought this organization over the past 18 plus years to where it is today. Sound, forceful, a great society, and has helped many people. Congratulations, and we're going to miss you as executive director. It's an honor for me to introduce the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Humanitarian Award. This is an award that was created by the Board of Directors of the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases in 1997, and every year gets this remarkable list of candidates from whom the Board of Directors has to pick. These are individuals who have dedicated their lives to humanitarianism and making the world a much better place to live. The criteria that are used to select an individual are one who has dedicated courage, commitment, creativity to either the service or education and sometimes legislation to make changes and to affect lives. I don't want to mention any of the previous awardees. They are in your booklet, and if I say some, I will leave out others, and I don't want to do that. But it is a pleasure that Dr. Lucas joins 16 previous absolutely fantastic individuals who have helped all of us. To tell you more about Dr. Lucas is the president and chief executive officer of the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Foundation, Dr. John Hardman.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Joseph. It's a pleasure to be here. I bring greetings from President and Mrs. Carter. They warmly remember their visit here at one of these functions, which is a highlight, and certainly she will be pleased to hear Paul's reference to her work with Betty Bumpers on Every Child by Two, which is certainly something she has spent a great deal of her life focusing on and making sure that all children are vaccinated. And they are very honored that the National Foundation for Infectious Disease would have named an award in their honor, and pleased certainly about tonight's recipient of that. Professor Addie Lucas has a long-standing collaboration with the Carter Center and became a member of our International Task Force for Disease Eradication at the very beginning and worked in Sudan on guinea worm eradication following a 1995 guinea worm ceasefire that President Carter had actually worked out between the North and South in order to have peace for a period of time to allow health workers to get into the war-torn areas of Sudan. He not only worked on trichuculiasis or guinea worm, but onchocerciasis or river blindness during that period of time. And it would be hard to exaggerate all the things that Dr. Lucas has done during his life. His influence on public health, on clinical medicine, on research, and all of the medical professionals that he has trained is truly significant. He has worked on what we now term as neglected tropical diseases in Africa, in Nigeria specifically, and around the world. He and his colleagues at Ibadan University in Nigeria, for instance, did groundwork on guinea worm disease, which led the Carter Center and Dr. Don Hopkins to take that on as a major effort. Guinea worm will be the second disease totally eradicated from the world. As you know, smallpox was the first, and we're excited about the fact that Dr. Lucas and several of his students and several students of his students have worked to reduce the number of cases in Nigeria, which was a country with the largest number of cases at 650,000 cases, down to no cases by 2008, a truly remarkable achievement. And we are now down to around 500 cases in the world. Most of those are in South Sudan, with a few cases in Mali, a few cases in Ethiopia, and a handful of cases in Chad. But that is a great tribute to the work of Dr. Lucas and his work with his students and colleagues around the world. But he deserves a hand for that. But he also founded the World Health Organization special program for research and training in tropical diseases, and led that program in Geneva from 1976 to 1986. And not only was working on diseases like dracunculiasis or guinea worm, but had major contributions on malaria, schistosomiasis, trypanosomiasis, leishmaniasis, filariasis, and leprosy, things that we don't see every day in this country and certainly rarely even pronounce. But that program emerged as a leader in research on diseases that are neglected by most of the world. So the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Award is one of a long list of achievements that Dr. Lucas has attained. And they, as I mentioned, are very proud of that, and President Carter has written a letter saying that he wished he could be here to deliver it himself, but I will have to stand in for him to read it, to Professor Addie Lucas. Congratulations on receiving the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Humanitarian Award from the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases. You are a true hero to millions of people who have been saved from suffering due to your many achievements during a long and very productive career in Nigeria, at the World Health Organization, the Carnegie Corporation of New York, Harvard School of Public Health, and elsewhere. I also appreciate your years of service as a valued member of the International Task Force for Disease Eradication since its inception in 1988 at the Carter Center. Your autobiography, It Was the Best of Times, for which I was honored to write the foreword, is a delightful account of your life, family, and remarkable accomplishments. Rosalind joins me in sending these congratulations to you and your family. I look forward to seeing you again and congratulating you in person in Atlanta later this week. Sincerely, Jimmy Carter. So join me in welcoming Professor Addie Lucas to receive the 2013 Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Award.
Dr. Lucas, for your lifetime commitment, for neglect for the work of treating and now close to eradication of many neglected tropical diseases, it's an honor for you to join us and accept the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Humanitarian Award.